Hey, how are you?
Man, good. What's going on in your world today?
Oh, not much. Although I'm a little upset that you said I'm one half of the tag team champions. I think people need to know that I'm the tag team champions.
No. Do we need to do that on the radio? The no, yes. That thing is taking off and it's going crazy, man.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a lot of fun, going out there and saying no. I don't know why people keep saying yes. I've told them you people need to say no. So the people of Jonesboro, when we come out, I expect all of them to be saying no. If there's anybody saying yes, I'm going to go ballistic.
So we get to see this dynamic live Friday night at the Convocation Center of you and Kane, the tag team of Hell No. That thing's been interesting to watch over the course of the last few months. How's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's actually been a lot of fun. It's also been very frustrating. We clearly don't get along, Kane and I, and we've had to go to these anger management classes. They've assigned us a therapist named Dr. Shelby, but it's also provided a lot of fun and a lot of entertainment for a lot of people. So I got knocked by Larry King on Raw. Yeah, Larry King. It said I did in fact look like a goat yesterday.
Golly.
So I'm not happy about that.
So that's not the sign that you've made it when Larry King's talking to you, huh?
Well, I mean, it is kind of a sign, but it'd be better if it was like, hey, that's the guy who is the tag team champion. But no, it's like that's the guy that looks like a goat. So.
Man, it's so cool to watch and see what you've done because of my wrestling background. I saw the stuff when you started off in Texas with Shawn Michaels, because I'm a huge Shawn Michaels fan. You left Washington and went to work for Shawn Michaels. Actually went to school with Shawn Michaels down there at his training school. Did you ever dream that you would have this opportunity that you have now?
It's interesting because when I started, I always thought, my goal and my dream was to wrestle in Japan and do that as a full-time job, because I never thought I had what it took to be a WWE Superstar, for instance. Not that I didn't have what it took, but there were a lot of bigger guys. Like Shawn Michaels was considered a small wrestler in his time in WWE. Shawn Michaels is over 6 feet tall. He's not small. I'm 5'8" and 200 pounds. You know what I mean? So for me, the goal of getting to WWE didn't seem realistic when I first started. And then especially when they bought WCW and there were all these people who were coming in and all that kind of stuff. And so, but yeah, it's a dream come true.
It's kind of like you broke a mold. I think that a number of you guys have done that. You and CM Punk, who did all the stuff in Ring of Honor, kind of broke that mold. And the cool thing is you got to do it the way that you wanted to do it and the way that you always dreamed of doing it, which was kind of, the more athletic style, the stronger style. And I think that's great that they're letting you do that.
Yeah, and it's also fun because guys like me and CM Punk and several of the other guys were one of the last generation of people who are probably going to spend years honing their craft outside of WWE before getting here. Like when I got here, I knew I was confident in my own abilities, and I was confident that I could do what was needed of me to really connect with the WWE universe and that sort of thing. And so a lot of guys now, they might be wrestling for a year or two, but then they get signed and put in the developmental program and then brought to TV. They don't have that confidence of going and wrestling in all these different places all over the world. So I feel really blessed because of that.
Again, we're on the phone with WWE Tag Team Champion, one half of the Tag Team Champions, Daniel Bryan. Was there anyone who ever maybe tried to tell you that you weren't going to be able to make it to the WWE, and anybody that you kind of have had the chance to prove wrong, and you're standing there now with 20,000 people going nuts when you walk out? Is there anybody that you kind of look at like, hey, look at me now?
Well, I mean, I've never thought that way, but there were a lot of people who clearly said that to me, and especially like when I was in school and that sort of thing. They're like, listen, you're smart, you can go on and do something. My mom has always been very supportive, but she's also been like, listen, honey, you're very smart, you could go and actually do something that helps people, like you could be a doctor, you could go do Doctors Without Borders. Like my mom works with underprivileged kids, so she's coming from a background of like, hey, you could use your God-given gifts to help people,
Right.
I go out and put on some spandex trunks and invite people. So, but she's very proud of me now. And but there's a lot of people who thought, because I'm small and because I'm this and because I'm that, I wouldn't be able to get to the level that I have now. But proving people wrong has never really interested me. I just like, pursuing my own goals and pursuing my own happiness. So.
I think it's cool that you still get out and you try to train and learn the grappling and the jiu-jitsu, and you try to continue to master different things, because a lot of people, when they get there, they're like, okay, I'm here, I'm just going to kind of maintain. You're always trying to, I guess, evolve and continue to grow as a performer.
Yeah, I think the word evolve is very important. I feel like everything needs to evolve, as far as from a wrestling perspective. A lot of wrestling hasn't evolved in a long time in the United States, but I feel like guys like me, CM Punk, and several other people are trying to push along, trying to push it further, trying to do things that people weren't doing in the past. Like Shawn Michaels brought a new step in evolution when he was the WWE champion. He pushed things forward. Stone Cold and The Rock brought a different sort of evolution to the product. You know what I mean? And I feel like the product consistently needs to evolve. And I have my own vision of where I would like this industry to go and how I would like the product to be. And that's not always represented on TV, but I'm hoping that the more I'm able to do it, the more that will happen.
Yeah, I think the reaction that it gets now, because people are proving that it can work, when you guys are given the opportunity to get out there and do that. What do you think's your greatest moment so far in WWE?
Oh my gosh, it's hard to say. I mean, I have favorite moments, one of my favorite moments is wrestling William Regal in England, because William Regal had a big part in training me and that sort of thing. And so he's a mentor of mine, and I've always been proud of the stuff that me and him have done together. But I've had some really fun matches this year, like being able to wrestle CM Punk, for the WWE Championship on pay-per-view. I mean, we wrestled each other for 45 minutes in front of 35 people down in Florida, So that was back in 2005. And to be able to go from that to all of a sudden now we're in this WWE Championship match on pay-per-view. I mean, that's a very cool step. It's cool to see, hey, that's a really neat progression of what's happened in the last 7 years. So yeah, it's I've had a lot of really cool, fun moments here.
Again, we're on the phone with WWE Superstar Daniel Bryan. Has the fame and people knowing you, has that affected you at all? You always seemed down to earth when you were in Memphis. Yeah,
I don't think it has, and I feel like the fame and everything like that, it's not like real fame. You know what I mean? Tom Cruise is he's famous. You know what I mean? As far as me, people recognize me here and there, but it's only mostly because I've grown this gigantic beard. If I didn't have my beard, I just look like a normal human being. You know what I mean? Nobody spots me out of the airport. It's this beard is the only giveaway to wrestling fans. It's not like I'm John Cena who walks around and he's enormous. And you just pick him out of a crowd. So I don't actually feel like there's all this fame and all that kind of stuff. And realistically, if I were to get hurt tomorrow or today or something and not be on TV, in probably 2 months, nobody would recognize me anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fame is very fleeting, and so it's not something to be like, hey, I'm this big shot, because people recognize me every once in a while at Panera Bread,
So whose idea was the beard? Was that just something you woke up one day and said, I don't feel like shaving, or what?
Well, yeah, I've always had, I oscillate between having a beard and not having a beard. And then, in 2005, I had an enormous beard, kind of like I have now. And yeah, I just started growing it, and then you just get so tired of shaving and trimming your beard and that sort of thing. And I'm kind of a free spirit anyway. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, it's just I'm not gonna do anything with this and see what happens.
And it kind of worked out. So let's go with two more questions. These are kind of softball questions, but kind of fun too. The coolest celebrity you've had the chance to meet, because I know a lot of celebrities across the world will come back and go backstage to meet their favorite WWE superstar. Who stands out as being a cool celebrity?
Okay, so I am the least knowledgeable person about celebrities that there is. But okay, so I got to meet that Cincinnati. He used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. He's a football player. Ocho Cinco.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, and I'm not even like, I love the Seahawks, but I'm a huge football fan. But my friend Christoph, who's like one of my best friends, is a huge Bengals fan. And so I did this thing on TV with Ocho Cinco, and where he called me his bud or his man or his, whatever it is, implying that I was his friend.
Right.
And all of a sudden, my friend Christoph calls me up and goes, "Whoa, you're buds with Ocho Cinco? That's the coolest thing I've ever heard." So like to me, that was like, hey, that's about as cool as it gets. So my buddy's thinking that I'm a big shot because of Ocho Cinco.
So final question, and I've heard rumors that you're dating a former WWE Diva, right?
Yes.
Do we throw that out there? Can we say that? Do we talk about that or no?
Yeah, I don't mind. It's I'm dating who's formerly known as Brie Bella. We live in San Diego together. We just got a new little puppy, a little French bulldog named Josie, who is absolutely adorable. So yeah.
Okay, so here's a question based on that. We're going to take her out of this situation, okay? Because I asked this same question to Santino. The hottest WWE Diva of all time, taking the Bella Twins out of this, who would it be?
Oh, gosh. Aja Kong?
Oh,
you remember Aja Kong?
Yes, no.
and you know what? She's definitely not probably the hottest in the sense of what you're thinking. You're thinking of attractiveness.
Like Sunny?
I am thinking of how excited I would be to meet Aja Kong because she would go out there and she would spinning backfist people in the face, right? Like she is
perfect.
By far my favorite female wrestler of all time.
And that's also the safe
favorite
answer, right?
Yes, that's the safest answer. Yeah. There's no way I'm going to be like, oh man, so-and-so's so hot, like heaven forbid Bree hear this interview, you know what I mean? Because she is, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's everything that I would want in a woman. So yeah, I don't want to insult her in any way, shape, or form. But Aja Kong, man.
Oh, there it is.
She's the one.
Yes. Man, we'll see you Friday night at the ASU Convocation Center, Jonesboro. Tickets start as low as $15. It's Raw Super Show. Thanks a lot, man.
Yep, thank you, Brandon.